Hey, it's Les from Comfortable Shoes Studio, and welcome to another episode of Art Making. So, in this episode, I am testing out a bunch of different pens on some squares that I made of inexpensive watercolors from Five Below. So, these watercolors, as I mentioned in the previous episode, really just respond and behave like gouache. So, on the page, they feel pretty chalky. They're a little abrasive. I don't know that I'd want to use a really good fountain pen on them. I think it would be pretty damaging to a nib. And I yeah, I'm not a big fan. I think they'd be good like if you do an illustration to add color to an illustration. And so like I would draw with black ink first, which I did in my episode on Saturday of last week. So if you check that out, you'll see that I draw an illustration of intestines, and then I go back into it with these watercolors and add color to it. What I did end up doing was using some of my gel pens over the top of it to clean up those black lines. So at this point, I'm just going through all of my fountain pens and all of my gel pens, and I'm testing it. I'm kind of regretting using the narwhal on it. What I've found as I've drawn on this paint more, it does have a tendency to clog up the tip nib of the pen, and just behave really weird. Um, it's like the little bits um, of the paint are getting caught in the nib, and just wreaking havoc. Just not a fan of drawing on top of this with fountain pen. Gel pen is okay. Um, I also found ballpoint didn't work particularly well. So this is my Sailor Fude pen. This has been a sketching favorite of mine lately. It's really great. Really fat lines, thin lines, nice line variety. It's pretty nice. I've currently got a waterproof sketch ink in it by Rohr and Klinger. Um, and it just works really, really well. Lays down a really nice black line. It has a bit of an odor to it, something that I wasn't really expecting. You can kind of smell it. So yeah, just really digging this. I think I sped this video up a little bit, but it's not sped up overly fast. So yeah, this whole page took about 20 minutes to test all 9 blobs of paint with a variety of different tools. You can see my desk area where I work is a disaster right now. I've got all these pens out, I've got all these pencils out, and actually, I will say that it was really nice for sketching on with the colored pencil. This is a Mitsubishi dual tip colored pencil. It's used for, you know, editing. I've used these before for editing my writing. Really love this particular colored pencil, the two tip. So it's one side is vermilion, the other side is like a Prussian blue. Really show up on the page, and it's a really nice colored pencil. So it was actually really nice coloring on it with this colored pencil. Had a lot of tooth, which this paper is very toothy and really nice for pencil and colored pencil. It's actually not the greatest paper if you're into fountain pens. It's pretty toothy. It's probably, if any of you who are really into fountain pens got a hold of one of these Five Below sketchbooks and decided to test it out, you'd probably be horrified that I use fountain pens on it. It's just not the smoothest. So now I've got a black wing. I don't know which one this is. My buddy Dade gave this to me. It's pretty soft, pretty smooth. Really liked the colors on it. It's got that teal and then bright red on it with a bright red eraser. It's a nice pencil. Really great for sketching, and you can see here I'm filling in some sections just to see how it's going to respond on this. And again, uh, this was fantastic. This is just really great with this pencil. The tooth of the paper combined with the tooth of this watercolor. I should just call it gouache because that's what it is. This kind of rough, toothy watercolor slash gouache is really, really nice. I am able to get like a large amount of pencil on there, do some really nice shading. This is super nice. Really like it for this particular tool. Like I said, not great for fountain pen, but for pencils and colored pencils, pretty darn nice. Cleaning it up, I smudged it a little bit. And oh yeah, so I'm doing an eraser test here. So I got a couple of non-photo blue pencils, and I'm gonna test to see how it works. And the color does lift a little bit no matter the eraser. It would be even more intense with, I think, there I've got a Sumo eraser. It did lift quite a bit of the paint. You can't see it on camera very well, but I can tell you in person, you can see that it lifted quite a bit of the color. It also cleaned off all of the non-photo blue pencil and the regular pencil as well. So now I'm testing out I think this is a Pilot brush pen, and I found that the brush pen does really well on this gouache. There's something about the chalkiness of it. This particular brush pen and the ink that is in it is not waterproof. I have since refilled this particular pen with the Rohr & Klinger sketch ink, and it is waterproof now. So yeah, it looks really good on this gouache compared to some of the other inks. The ink looks really good on it, and the brush pen deposits enough ink that it's deeply black. So pretty good about that. In the future, I would do backgrounds and use just brush pen on it. So that's pretty nice. Um, yeah. Probably could have sped this up a little bit more, I guess. Um, Now I'm trying to figure out what pen I do want to use here. So I grabbed the pencil case that I'm currently using, which is a brand called Rough Enough from Amazon. And oh yeah, so I grab some ballpoint pens, and this was surprising. So this is a Bic Intensity brush pen. It does pretty well on this. Markers and brush pens do seem to do pretty well on this chalky surface. There's something about the ink on it. It does soak in and spread out, so your fine lines are not as fine. And these Bic Intensity brush pens, the tip is pretty fibery and delicate, and it does get pretty chewed up by this paper. So that's a thing to watch out about. Now, the ballpoint pen actually does a terrible job. It can't get started. And it's very faint and very pale on the paint. So there you have it. A couple of different tests to see how this paint would work on this sketchbook with different pens, different materials, just to check it out. Do some materials testing. Thanks for being here, and appreciate the thumbs up, the likes, and the conversation. And I'll see you next time. Thanks and bye.